What date should we sign? Doesn't matter. What date should I put on there? Doesn't matter. There you go.
Good evening. I would like to call Monday, September 9th, Common Council meeting to order. Clerk Toronto, I believe you would like to make some comments regarding the link for this meeting and other expectations.
Good evening, members of the public. For audio quality, we will be muting everyone not speaking by default to maintain good audio quality for council and yourselves. If you would like to speak during the meeting on a certain agenda item or during privilege of the floor, please submit your request in the chat. Directions to do so have been listed in the chat. We ask that you provide your full name, address, and topic you are speaking on, as those are required for all speakers at in-person council meetings. If you would like to be called on during the meeting to provide public input, please insert the following into the chat and you will be called on during the relevant time for public speaking. My name is full name and I live at address and I would like to speak on or for agenda item. You will then be given 5 minutes to speak. Please be sure to unmute yourself prior to giving your remarks. Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, we would like to welcome Rabbi Shoshana Kaminsky of Temple Bethel. Please. Welcome.
As you gather together this evening to conduct the business of this great city of South Bend, I invite you to rededicate yourselves to work together in unity and harmony to improve this particular region of Indiana, each of you bringing your individual gifts and talents to this worthy endeavor. I invite you to join hands to ensure that the city of South Bend is able to continue to realize the abundant potential with which it is blessed. With these sentiments in mind, I offer this prayer by Rabbi Naomi Levy. The prayer of our hearts and minds is our hope and yearning, but the prayer of our limbs, our actions, is our salvation. Dr. Abraham Joshua Heschel was one of the greatest rabbis of the century. Not just a scholar and a writer, he was also an activist. When he marched with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. in Selma, Alabama, he proclaimed, "It felt as if my legs were praying." The goodness that we perform in this world is our highest prayer. When we struggle to repair this world, to rise above our complacency and offer compassion, charity, and love, we are praying. When we fight to eradicate poverty, injustice, and war, when we take the time to perform acts of kindness, we are praying. When we gather the strength to give of ourselves to those who so desperately need our assistance, instead of averting our gaze, we are praying. I am my prayer to you, O God, the psalmist cried out. When our actions embody our truest humanity, we become a prayer. And even if we do not pray or believe in God, our actions to bring about good and to alleviate suffering in this world are no less important than those of our neighbors who do believe. When our actions embody our truest humanity, we become a prayer. And so may all of us strive to become prayers. Amen.
Amen. Remain standing for the pledge of allegiance, please. Thank you. Clerk Torado, would you call the roll, please?
President McBride,
Present.
Vice President Niskoski,
Present.
Councilmember Gooden Rogers, Councilmember Thomas Morgan,
Present.
Councilmember White, Councilmember Lee,
Present.
Councilmember Warner, Councilmember Bolden Simpson,
Present.
Councilmember Dr. Davis, Councilmember Warner. I see you online. All present.
Thank you. At this time, we will have a report from Subcommittee on Minutes.
To the Common Council of the City of South Bend, the subcommittee has inspected the minutes of the August 26, 2024 meeting of the council and found them to be correct. Therefore, we recommend the same be approved.
Thank you. I would entertain a motion regarding the minutes of August 26, 2024.
Motion to approve. Second.
Been moved in second. The roll, please.
Councilmember Dr. Davis,
Aye.
Councilmember Bolden Simpson,
Aye.
Councilmember Warner,
Can't hear him.
Councilmember Warner,
I don't know if he's muted on our end. He's trying to talk.
can you type it in the chat, please? Just so we have it for the record.
Can we check-
Councilmember White,
Can we check to see if we can get him, his vocals?
Councilmember White, Councilmember Lee,
Aye.
Councilmember Thomas Morgan,
Aye.
Councilmember Gooden Rogers,
Aye.
Vice President Niskoski,
Aye.
President McBride. All ayes.
We would note that we would have, Counselor Warner's, yay or nay vote.
He has an A on the minutes.
Yes,
President McBride.
throughout the meeting, since there's difficulties with the volume, so, or, being muted. So we will take his count by written form tonight. Thank you for that.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, we
Yes,
hear
we can
you
hear you.
now.
Okay, I'm an aye for the minutes. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we will move into the committee of the whole, but first I would like to announce that if you are here for Bill 3824, that bill has been tabled until October 14th. At this time, I would like to entertain a motion to go into the committee of the whole.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. The roll, please.
Councilmember Dr. Davis,
Aye.
Councilmember Bolden Simpson,
Aye.
Councilmember Warner,
Aye.
Councilmember Lee,
Aye.
Councilmember White,
Aye.
Councilmember Thomas Morgan,
Aye.
Councilmember Gooden Rogers, Vice President Niskoski,
Aye.
President McBride.
Aye,
All ayes.
thank you.
Good evening. The Committee of the Whole is now in session. This is the portion of the council's meeting where bills are given a second reading and public hearing. I wish to share with you that bills that will be given a second reading and public hearing have been given a first reading and set for a committee meeting and public hearing prior to this evening's meeting. In addition, you will hear from the chairperson of the committee where the bill was discussed and the results of their discussion. If the proposed ordinance is a zoning ordinance, a report from a staff member will be given. In all other situations, the formal presentation of the proposed ordinance will immediately follow the committee report. The formal presentation shall be on time. Clerk Toronto, would you please give Bill 39-24 a second reading?
Public hearing on an ordinance of the Common Council of the City of South Bend, Indiana, approving a petition of the Advisory Board of Zoning Appeals for property located at 1006 Beale Street, Councilmanic District Number 1 in the City of South Bend, Indiana.
Is there a committee report?
Yes, there is, Mr. Chair. The Zoning and Annexation Committee met this afternoon, and we bring Bill number 3924 to this council with a favorable recommendation.
All right. Is the petitioner is present? I ask that you state your name and address and share with us key points regarding the bill that's before us.
Skip Morrell, Principal Development Planner with offices on the 14th floor of this building. The proposal here is a bill 39-24 for 1006 Beale Street. Owner is Pinnacle Wealth Investments LLC, and they're looking for a special exception to allow a dwelling with 2 units, in other words, a duplex. For some context, this is the site as it exists now. It's a vacant lot. And as you take kind of a step back and you can see the neighborhood more broadly, this is a fairly dense neighborhood of single-story houses. And so the proposed building, you can see this is kind of the site plan and the elevations there. And then the petitioner is also able to provide a rendering to kind of show what that building would look like. This will be a newly constructed duplex. serve as a 2-unit dwelling that should provide more residents to the neighborhood, which increases the safety and general welfare of the community. Also, the scale, as I mentioned, a lot of these houses are kind of that single-story, smaller footprint. So the scale of this building kind of matches the character of the existing neighborhood. And ultimately, this plan to build a new duplex matches with the South Bend Comprehensive Plan objective to encourage residential developments that contain a mix of housing types, densities, price ranges, and amenities. And this petitioning comes from the Board of Zoning Appeals with a favorable recommendation. Petitioner is also here, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
We would have the petitioner please come up and state your name and address and add to anything that you want to add to this presentation.
Good afternoon, council members. I'm Nick Benninghoff, and I'm at 332 North Ironwood Drive, South Bend. And I'm sorry, what was the last part?
Anything you want to add to the presentation or?
Yeah, it's a duplex that's pretty fitting for the neighborhood as far as size and price. And we feel like it adds to the density, which I know is part of the South Bend master plan right now for that area. So I think that's all I got for now.
All right. Council members, do you have any questions? I know that we.
Yes. Could you please show the clip of the current model that you showed this afternoon? You weren't able to put that into that. There we go.
Yeah, there's the blueprint. Each unit is about 870 square feet, 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom.
Thank you.
Yes,
And you said they will probably start at 180,000.
yes, sir.
Okay.
And there's
Perfect.
options. If buyers want to option up, they can do that too.
Awesome.
All right. Any other council members would like to ask any questions? All right, as the, we extensively talked a lot about it in the committee meeting, earlier today. And so, we will now go to the public hearing section of this. Clerk Toronto, is anyone from the public wishing to speak in favor of Bill 39-24?
I do not see anyone in person or online wishing to speak in favor of the bill.
Is there anyone wishing to speak in opposition?
I do not see anyone in person or online wishing to speak in opposition.
At this point, the public hearing on Bill 39-24 is now, 39-24 is now closed. Any council members want to make a statement or anything before we take a vote or entertain a motion? I just would like to say that we know that that area down on Bill Street, there's a lot of interesting housing being put there. I think there's a container home on that street.
Right down the street.
I think I'm catching whatever everybody else is having. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Jerry, you see what you did? Started the coughs. But you know, one of the things is adding density to this community. And so as the first district rep, thank you for thinking about this area. I know that you're going to add, you're looking to do maybe 7 more of these and maybe more than that. So
Yeah.
we thank you for thinking about the first district as a place to build and for to provide housing for our community. I will now entertain a motion regarding Bill 39-24.
Motion to bring Bill 39-24 to the full council with a favorable recommendation.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Clerk Toronto, please call the roll.
Councilmember Gooden Rogers,
Aye.
Councilmember Tomas Morgan,
Aye.
Councilmember White, Councilmember Lee,
Aye.
Councilmember Warner,
Aye.
Councilmember Bolden Simpson,
Aye.
Councilmember Dr. Davis,
Aye.
Vice President Nisgowsky,
Aye.
President McBride,
Aye.
all ayes.
All right, Bill 39-24 will be sent to the full council with a favorable recommendation. Clerk Toronto, could you please give Bill 40-24
Thank
a
you.
second reading?
Public hearing on an ordinance of the Common Council of the City of South Bend, Indiana, to vacate the first east-west alley south of LaSalle Street from the west right-of-way line of Michigan Street to the east right-of-way line of north-south alley for a distance of 168 feet and a width of 14 feet.
All right, is there a committee report?
Yes, there is, Chair. Bill 4024 was heard in the Public Works and Property Vacation Committee this afternoon, and it was sent to the Committee of the Whole with a favorable recommendation.
All right. Petitioner, are you present?
I don't see the petitioner nor the presenter. Is there any way we can
was
delay
Eric-
this
Eric,
to the end of the meeting to see if they'll come?
Chairman Lee, this was given by Eric Horvath, was the presenter from Public Works today.
Okay.
So I'm not sure why he's not in attendance.
Parliamentarian?
Can we just wait to the end to see if he comes? And not, do we make a motion to do
You
it to the
don't have
next
to.
meeting?
You'll have to make a motion to suspend the rules to delay this bill.
I'd like to make a motion to suspend the rules to delay this bill to the very end, to give him some time to get here. If not, we'll just put this on the next agenda.
Just for clarification, when you say the very end, do you mean
That's correct. Right before the,
privilege of?
right before the privilege of the floor. Right before, that's, yeah,
Is that,
that gives him maximum time.
is it that possible?
Yes, yes.
Okay. All right, there's been a motion and a second. Clerk Toronto, please call the roll.
Councilmember Dr. Davis.
Aye.
Councilmember Bolden Simpson.
Aye.
Councilmember Warner.
Aye.
Councilmember Lee.
Aye.
Councilmember White.
Aye.
Councilmember Thomas Morgan.
Aye.
Councilmember Gooden Rogers.
Aye.
Vice President Niskoski.
Aye.
President McBride.
Aye.
All ayes.
All right.
Point of information. Is it possible that, I mean, I have a cell phone or anybody else has a cell phone. Can we, I don't know what could have happened to him because normally he's here.
I already reached out to him.
You already did?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I'm glad you did. Just making sure he got a text. Just showing up.
All right.
I appreciate it.
So we'll revisit this right before.
Put to the floor.
Mr.
Privilege of the
Horvath get
floor.
here,
Yeah.
And the privilege of the floor. All right. Well, I now will entertain a motion to rise from the committee of the whole.
So moved.
Second.
It has been moved in second. Clerk Toronto, please call the roll.
Councilmember Gooden Rogers.
Aye.
Councilmember Thomas Morgan.
Aye.
Councilmember White. Councilmember Lee.
Aye.
Councilmember Warner.
Aye.
Councilmember Bolden Simpson.
Aye.
Councilmember Dr. Davis.
Aye.
Vice President Niskoski.
Aye.
President McBride.
Aye.
All
All right.
ayes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. The full council is now back in session. We are now at the part with bills that are on third reading. This is the portion of the bills are given a third reading for action taken regarding bills that were just heard in the committee of the whole. Clerk Toronto, would you please give substitute bill? Well, no, the first bill we have, it is a substitute bill and this is for third reading only. We heard the bill 3124 at the last meeting, and after Clerk Toronto read the bill, then we will take action, council. Clerk Toronto, will you please give substitute bill 3124 a third reading?
Third reading on an ordinance of the Common Council of the City of South Bend, Indiana, annexing to and bringing within the city limits of South Bend, Indiana, and amending the zoning ordinance for property located at 17023 Helper Street, Councilmanic District Number 4 in the City of South Bend, Indiana.
Thank you. Council? I'd like to entertain a motion regarding 3124.
I'll move for passage.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Clerk Toronto, the roll, please.
Councilmember Gooden Rogers.
Aye.
Councilmember Thomas Morgan.
Aye.
Councilmember White. Councilmember Lee.
Aye.
Councilmember Warner.
Aye.
Councilmember Bolden Simpson,
Aye.
Councilmember Dr. Davis,
Aye.
Vice President Nisgowsky,
Aye.
President McBride,
Aye.
all ayes.
Bill 31-24 has been adopted. Clerk Toronto, will you please give Bill 3924 a third reading?
Third reading on an ordinance of the Common Council of the City of South Bend, Indiana, approving a petition of the Advisory Board of Zoning Appeals for the property located at 1006, Bill Street, Councilmanic District Number 1 in the City of South Bend, Indiana.
Thank you. Counselor Lee, is there a committee report?
Yes, Bill 39-24 was heard in the Committee of the Whole and comes to the full council with a favorable recommendation.
Thank you. At this time, I would like to entertain a motion regarding Bill 3924.
Passage. Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Clerk Toronto, the roll, please.
Councilmember Dr. Davis,
Aye.
Councilmember Bolden Simpson,
Aye.
Councilmember Warner,
Aye.
Councilmember Lee,
Aye.
Councilmember White, Councilmember Thomas Morgan,
Aye.
Councilmember Gooden Rogers,
Aye.
Vice President Nisgowsky,
Aye.
President McBride,
Aye.
all ayes.
Thank you. Bill 3924 has been adopted. And again, hoping we will hear from Director Horvath shortly. And we'll come back to Bill 40-24. At this time, there are no resolutions. Clerk Toronto, will you please give Bill 4524 a first reading?
First reading on an ordinance of the Common Council of the City of South Bend, Indiana, to vacate the east-west alley between 100 block of East Sample Street and Ohio Street, including its turn south connecting to Ohio Street, and also the first north-south alley east of South Michigan Street, running between East Sample Street and Ohio Street.
Thank you. I would like to entertain a motion to send Bill 4524 to Public Works and Property Vacation for public hearing and third reading for September 23rd.
So move.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. The roll, please. And we have to call the roll because Counselor Warner is virtual. So the proper thing for us to do is to call it by roll.
Councilmember Gooden Rogers,
Aye.
Councilmember Thomas Morgan,
Aye.
Councilmember White, Councilmember Lee,
Aye.
Councilmember Warner,
Aye.
Councilmember Bolden Simpson,
Aye.
Councilmember Dr. Davis,
Aye.
Vice President Nisgowsky,
Aye.
President McBride,
Aye.
all ayes.
Vice President Nisgowsky is going to take over continue the first readings while I step out to try to contact Director Horvath.
Clerk Toronto, could you give Bill 4624 a first reading, please?
First reading on an ordinance of the Common Council of the City of South Bend, Indiana, to vacate the first east-west bound alley of Prairie Avenue between Glen Street and north-south alley east of Brookfield Street.
I'd like to entertain a motion to send Bill 4624 to Public Works and Property Vacation for September 23rd for public hearing and third reading.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Clerk Toronto, could you call the roll?
Councilmember Dr. Davis,
Aye.
Councilmember Bolden Simpson,
Aye.
Councilmember Warner,
Aye.
Councilmember Lee,
Aye.
Councilmember White, Councilmember Thomas Morgan,
Aye.
Councilmember Gooden Rogers,
Aye.
Vice President Nisgowsky,
Aye.
and President McBride stepped away. 8 ayes.
Thank you. Clerk Toronto, can you give Bill 4724 first reading?
First reading of an ordinance of the Common Council of the City of South Bend, Indiana, amending ordinance number 10978-23, which fixes maximum salaries and wages of appointed officers and non-bargaining employees of executive departments of the City of South Bend for calendar year 2024 to add a full-time employee to one existing position.
Thank you. I'd like to entertain a motion to send 4724 to Personnel and Finance on September 23rd for public hearing and third reading.
So moved. So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Clerk Toronto, could you call the roll, please?
Councilmember Gooden Rogers,
Aye.
Councilmember Thomas Morgan,
Aye.
Councilmember White, Councilmember Lee,
Aye.
Councilmember Warner,
Aye.
Councilmember Bolden Simpson,
Aye.
Councilmember Dr. Davis,
Aye.
Vice President Niskoski.
Aye.
8 ayes.
Thank you. Clerk Toronto, could you give Bill 4824 a first reading?
First reading on an ordinance of the Common Council of the City of South Bend, Indiana, for budget transfers for various departments within the City of South Bend, Indiana, for the year 2024.
Thank you. I'd like to entertain a motion to send Bill 4824 to Personnel and Finance for September 23rd for public hearing and third reading.
So move.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Clerk Toronto, could you call the roll, please?
Councilmember Dr. Davis,
Aye.
Councilmember Bolden Simpson,
Aye.
Councilmember Warner,
Aye.
Councilmember Lee,
Aye.
Councilmember White, Councilmember Thomas Morgan,
Aye.
Councilmember Gooden Rogers,
Aye.
Vice President Niskoski.
Aye.
8 ayes.
Thank you. Clerk Toronto, could you give Bill 4924 a first reading?
First reading on an ordinance of the Common Council of the City of South Bend, Indiana, appropriating additional funds for certain departmental and city services operations for the year 2024 of $90,000 from the general fund number 101, $70,000 from the Parks and Recreation Fund number 201, $343,000 from the Motor Vehicle Highway Fund number 202, $2,868,630 from the Department of Community Investment Grants Fund number 212, $3,501,690 from the Local Income Tax Public Safety Fund number 249, $615,000 from the IT Innovation /311 Call Center Fund number 279, $200,000 from the Waterworks Operations Fund number 620, $2 million from the Waterworks Capital Fund number 622, $61,500 from the Sewerage Works Operations Fund number 641, $339,365 from the Century Center Operations Fund number 670, and $20,000 from the Self-Funded Employee Benefits Fund number 711.
Thank you so much. I would like to entertain a motion to send Bill 4924 to Personnel and Finance on September 23rd for public hearing and third reading.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Clerk Toronto, could you call the roll?
Councilmember Dr. Davis,
Aye.
Councilmember Bolden Simpson,
Aye.
Councilmember Warner,
Aye.
Councilmember Lee,
Aye.
Councilmember White, Councilmember Thomas Morgan,
Aye.
Councilmember Gooden Rogers,
Aye.
Vice President Niskoski.
Aye.
8 ayes.
Thank you so much. Could you please give Bill 5024 a first reading?
First reading on an ordinance of the Common Council of the City of South Bend, Indiana, levying taxes and fixing the rate of taxation for the purpose of raising revenue to meet the necessary expenses of the civil city of South Bend for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2025, and appropriating monies for the purpose of defraying the expenses of the city of South Bend, Indiana for the fiscal year beginning January 1st, 2025, and ending December 31st, 2025, including all outstanding claims and obligations, and fixing a time when the same shall take effect.
Thank you so much. I'd like to entertain a motion to send Bill 5024 for second reading only on September 23rd for public hearing and for third reading only on October the 14th.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Clerk Toronto, could you call the roll, please?
Councilmember Gooden Rogers,
Aye.
Councilmember Thomas Morgan,
Aye.
Councilmember White, Councilmember Lee,
Aye.
Councilmember Warner,
Aye.
Councilmember Bolden Simpson,
Aye.
Councilmember Dr. Davis,
Aye.
Vice President Niskoski,
Aye.
President McBride,
Aye.
all ayes.
Thank you. Clerk Toronto, could you give Bill 5124 first reading?
First reading of an ordinance of the Common Council of the City of South Bend, Indiana, appropriating, adopting, and approving the South Bend Public Transportation Corporation's 2025 budget and levying the tax and fixing the rate of the taxation for the purpose of raising revenue to fund the South Bend Public Transportation Corporation, South Bend, Indiana, for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2025.
Thank you so much. I would like to entertain a motion to send Bill 5124 to Personal and Finance on September 23rd for second reading and public hearing only, and then for third reading on October the 14th.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Clerk Toronto, could you call the roll, please?
Councilmember Dr. Davis,
Aye.
Councilmember Bolden Simpson,
Aye.
Councilmember Warner,
Aye.
Councilmember Lee,
Aye.
Councilmember White, Councilmember Thomas Morgan, Councilmember Gooden Rogers,
Aye.
Vice President Niskoski,
Aye.
President McBride,
Aye.
all ayes.
Thank you. At this time, we do have Director Horvath on line. Are you there, Eric? Yes, I will, as soon as we make sure that he's on.
I'm here.
Thank you so much. We will go back. We had postponed your presentation and now it's time for us to come back to you. So let me go back into the committee of the whole and then we will do third reading. So at this time, I will entertain a motion for council to go back into the committee of the whole.
So move.
It's been moved and seconded. Clerk Toronto, the roll, please.
Councilmember Dr. Davis,
Aye.
Councilmember Bolden Simpson,
Aye.
Councilmember Warner,
Aye.
Councilmember Lee,
Aye.
Councilmember White, Councilmember Thomas Morgan,
Aye.
Councilmember Gooden Rogers,
Aye.
Vice President Niskoski,
That was an aye.
President McBride,
Aye.
all ayes.
All right. I do have a question, parliamentarian. Do I have to go into the whole committee of the whole is back now in session?
No, you just have to do the second reading.
Okay. All right. Clerk Toronto, would you please give Bill 40-24 second reading?
Public hearing on an ordinance of the Common Council of the City of South Bend, Indiana, to vacate the first east-west alley south of LaSalle Street from the west right-of-way line of Michigan Street to the east right-of-way line of a north-south alley for a distance of 168 feet and a width of 14 feet.
All right. Is there a committee report?
Yes, there is, Chair. The 4024 was heard in Public Works and Property Vacation this afternoon and was given a favorable recommendation to the Committee of the Whole.
All right. The petitioner, if you're present, please give your name and address and share with us key points regarding the bill that's before us.
Thank you. Eric Horvath. I'm Public Works Director with office on 13th floor of County City Building. Apologies for not being present earlier. Yes, this bill in front of you is for the vacation of an alley that is north of the Morris Performing Arts Center. It's adjacent to it and only used for people walking to the Morris when they park in the parking lot. But we're building the Racklin Murphy Encore Center, And as part of that, it'll be attached to the building on the north. And so we need to use this area where the alley currently is. And the Morris will still be accessible through the Encore Center instead of through the alley directly. There are no utilities in the alley, and it received all favorable recommendations from staff.
All right. Council members, do you have any questions? I will now go to the public hearing portion. Clerk Toronto, is there anyone from the public wishing to speak in favor of Bill 40-24?
I do not see anyone in person or online wishing to speak in favor of the bill.
Is there anyone wishing to speak in opposition?
I do not see anyone in person or online wishing to speak in opposition.
At this point, the public hearing on Bill 40-24 is now closed. I will now entertain a motion regarding the bill.
Move for passage.
Second.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Clerk Toronto, please call the roll.
Councilmember Gooden Rogers,
Aye.
Councilmember Thomas Morgan,
Aye.
Councilmember White, Councilmember Lee,
Aye.
Councilmember Warner,
Aye.
Councilmember Bolden Simpson,
Aye.
Councilmember Dr. Davis,
Aye.
Vice President Niskoski,
Aye.
President McBride,
Aye.
all ayes.
All right. Bill 40-24 will be sent to the full council with a recommendation. I will now entertain a motion to resolve from the committee of the whole.
So move.
Second.
Clerk Toronto, please call the roll.
Councilmember Dr. Davis, Councilmember Bolden Simpson,
Aye.
Councilmember Warner,
Aye.
Councilmember Lee,
Aye.
Councilmember White, Councilmember Thomas Morgan,
Aye.
Councilmember Gooden Rogers,
Aye.
Vice President Niskoski,
Aye.
President McBride,
Aye.
all ayes.
All right, motion carries.
The full council is now back in session. Clerk Toronto, will you please give Bill 40-24 third reading?
Third reading on an ordinance of the Common Council of the City of South Bend, Indiana, to vacate the first east-west alley south of LaSalle Street from the west right-of-way line of Michigan Street to the east right-of-way line of north-south alley for a distance of 168 feet and a width of 14 feet.
Thank you. Councilor Lee, is there a recommendation from the committee of the whole regarding Bill 40-24?
Bill 40-24 was heard in the committee of the whole, and it comes to the full council with a favorable recommendation.
Thank you. I would now entertain a motion regarding Bill 40-24.
Move for passage.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Clerk Toronto, the roll, please.
Councilmember Dr. Davis.
Aye.
Councilmember Bolden Simpson.
Aye.
Councilmember Warner.
Aye.
Councilmember Lee.
Aye.
Councilmember White. Councilmember Thomas Morgan.
Aye.
Councilmember Gooden Rogers.
Aye.
Vice President Niskoski.
Aye.
President McBride.
Aye.
All ayes.
Thank you. At this time, I will turn to council to see if there's any unfinished business.
Yes.
Dr. Davis?
Thanks. Thank you, Madam Chair. County know that I'm respectfully requesting that the city clerk, Bianca Torado, to file and to submit the letter which I sent to the full South Bend Common Council today via email September 9, 2024, to represent my comments in the unfinished business section of today's South Bend Common Council agenda. Thank you.
I would turn to the parliamentarian because I don't believe that that can be published, or I guess I'm not asking, I'm trying to see what you're asking again. For the clerk to do what?
Well, I can read it into the record, or do you want me to read it into the record on the
No.
unfinished business?
No, no,
Or do you
no.
want me
I'm
to file
not
it
trying
to the
to give
record?
you advice on what you should do.
No, if you,
I'm not
you're
gonna do-
asking, let me make sure I heard you correctly. You asked for the clerk Toronto to put it in the record, your letter?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Anyone else? Council unfinished business. We'll turn to parliamentarian for comments about conflict of interest.
Thank you, President McBride. In past council meetings, there have been references made to the annual conflict of interest forms. To clarify any misunderstandings, this form is not required to be filed with the State Board of Accounts by every council member. The Common Council does not select vendors or contractors and does not vote to approve contracts with contractors or vendors. Furthermore, the conflict of interest form from each council member is on file with the city clerk for use when the State Board of Accounts audits the city in the spring. The current controller has advised me that the State Board of Accounts has not identified any conflicts while he has been in office, and to the best of my knowledge, the State Board of Accounts has not identified any conflicts with this council while the prior controller was in office.
Thank you. At this time, I'll turn, is there any new business for council? Counselor Lee?
Yep, I just would like to commend our code enforcement people. There was a bad, a house was emptied out and everything was left on the curb, and it was terrible. And they got out there quickly and effectively and cleaned it up. And so I just wanted to acknowledge that the code enforcement did an excellent job, and we want to thank all of those that worked speedily to address this issue for the residents.
Thank you. Nothing else, I would turn to the privilege of the floor. Public is welcome to come up. I'd like to again reiterate, disrespectful, rude, disruptive speech or actions will not be tolerated. Such speech or actions will, as well as verbal attacks on any person, may result in the individual without notice forfeiting the remainder of his or her allotted time. This portion of the meeting is 30 minutes and limited to 3 minutes only. And individuals shall not be permitted to address topics which the council has heard previously on the agenda tonight. Welcome. If you would come up and please state your name and address for the record.
Yeah, Carlos Leyva, 448 South Olive Street, South Bend, Indiana. First, I want to thank the council for your time. We appreciate your sacrifices you make, spending time away from your families, friends. We appreciate your hard work. Being a public servant is not easy, and I commend you for doing your job. I'd like to share some news. South Bend Adams recently won the cross-country boys city championship, coached by Sabino Rivera. Principal Jim Seitz. Takes a lot of hours during the summer, a lot of miles to get to that point. Congratulate Adams boys cross country team. Also, it was welcome weekend for the Tri-Campus and IUSB and the local colleges. We had a lot of South Bend students, first gen, attend college for the first time, and it's a big thanks to the school corporation and the community for helping these kids get to this point. Also, with the school starting, there's been some concerns about the sidewalks. Some parents feels particularly on the west side. The kids are walking in the streets, and there's times where cars speed through, and just maybe we can take a look at the sidewalks, particularly on the west side, but elementary schools, see if maybe they can be updated or renovated. And then so I grew up on the west side, going to the King Center. I played basketball, sandlot, baseball. My friends would hang out there all the time. We played basketball at midnight. So really looking forward to the new Dream Center. I drive by every day, and it's getting closer and closer. And it's a great place. It's a safe haven for the kids. I coach basketball, and we're looking forward, to having a place for the kids again. And and other activities too, not just basketball, but definitely helps, curb the violence, protect the kids, from the outside troubles. But yeah, looking forward to the King Center, and hopefully it happens pretty soon. But thanks for your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Before I get started, I'd like to have something entered into the record so that you can see that the numbers I'm giving are from an official source.
Thank you.
Good evening, Sue Kessom, 4022 Canada Drive. I've been asking for missing financial reports since May 8th, 2023. I asked again on August 9th, 2023. I asked again on August 23rd, 2023. I asked again on November 30th, 2023, at which time the 2024 budget had already been passed, and Ms. Nisgotsky said the financial office was fully staffed and the annual comprehensive financial reports and other reports would be back on schedule and available. I asked again on February 12th, 2024, and attached the AIM budget requirements which have not been met. I asked again on February 22nd, 2024. I asked again on May 3rd, 2024. I filed APRAs on the financial reports and was denied. I noticed on the Indiana State Gateway for Department of Local Government Finance, the annual comprehensive report was submitted on March 27th, 2024 at 12:14 p.m., but you're still hiding it from public view, and it hasn't even been released as a draft. Number 2, expenses exceed revenues in 2 TIF districts. By law, this is not supposed to be the case. South Bend number 1 TIF is short by $2,358,300. River West Development TIF is short by $1,140,027. The total exceeded by these 2 TIFs is $3,498,327. It's my understanding that money cannot be moved between TIFs. Number 3, projected cash balances for redevelopment according to the monthly city reports as of March 2024. Monthly reports for April until now have been hidden to the public, so I can't give you anything more current. Total TIF is in the red by $63,353,507. Total redevelopment is in the red by $18,328,772. Total debt service is in the red by $84,433,942. Grand total in the red, a deficit, projected deficit is $214,626,824. Our total budget's around $416 million. So I'm asking, what do you plan to do about this illegal situation? It shouldn't be build the budget. It needs to be trim the budget. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sarah Foster, 1138 College Street. Tonight, I would like to publicly thank Dr. Davis for his acknowledgement of Vice President Nisgotsky's wrongful actions against my husband Logan Foster on May 13th. 119 days have now gone by since Vice President Nisgotsky's assault and attempted battery on Logan. 119 days and only one council member has acknowledged this incident. 119 days and Ms. Nisgotsky is still sitting as vice president, still sitting in her council seat, and still sitting on multiple committees. That is 118 days too long for zero repercussions and only one acknowledgement from our elected representatives.
Thank you.
Hello, Linda Bryant, 3220 White Maple Court, South Bend. I also would like to thank Councilmember Oliver Davis for your public statement and calling upon the council members to publicly address the matter of dealing with the assault by Sheila Nisgotsky on May 13th in the council chambers of Logan Foster. Transparency is something that has been lacking by this council. It needs to be a public hearing. Citizens have the right to all of the meetings to be held open and to the public. Obviously, we would never expect the council to police themselves in private. It must be held in public. Again, today, I am asking for Vice President Sheila Nisgotsky to resign and step down from the City Council. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Brendan Crumlish, 1091 Riverside Drive, and a local businessman with an office at 3215 Sugar Maple Court in South Bend. I am here tonight as the president of Businesses United 4. We are a corporation representing over 25 South Bend businesses and still growing. We are seeking fairness for the truly homeless in our community, as well as greater fiscal responsibility from our government. And lastly, fairness and freedom for all media platforms to share and report on the actions of our government. All this is transparent and for the genuine improvement of the city of South Bend. I must reiterate the importance of allowing the public to speak freely during privilege of the floor without interjection from the chair or interruptions from the parliamentarian. It is imperative, given the recent history where public voices were unceremoniously dismissed, that we revisit the matter at hand concerning Nisgadsky Plumbing's 2024 contract with the city of South Bend. Contrary to the claims made, evidence clearly shows that the husband of Vice President Sheila Nisgadsky, State Senator David Nisgadsky's name, signature, and licensure were integrated within the documentation of the 2024 submission to the Board of Public Works Utility Line Repair Program. So please answer me this. What consequences will the chair face for curtailing the public's right to express their views on significant community issues? The chair and the parliamentarian have sought to assert that Nisgadsky Plumbing's contract bears no relevance to the city, dismissing its validity for 2024. What investigation has this council begun into this scandalous and conflicted arrangement? And what will be the repercussions for the legal counsel, Mr. Palmer, who misadvised his colleagues, thus enabling Council President Sharon McBride to silence valid discourse? Where is the accountability for these misguided assertions? Will either of you extend an apology for your misjudgments? Mr. Palmer, your role that you offer legal opinions only when requested, yet you provided unsolicited advice that led to incorrect conclusions, misleading the council when they sought clarification. Will you, at the very least, apologize to the taxpayers for your inadequate performance in recent months? Your misuse or misinterpretation of municipal code to suppress dialogue, particularly through attempts to impose gag orders on those who submitted complaints to the Rules Committee, is unacceptable. The taxpayers deserve far better than this. Again, we are all here to ask Councilwoman Nisgadsky to resign her position on this elected board of.
Thank you.
Your time is up, sir.
Okay.
Logan Foster, 1138 College Street. I come before you, reminding you that this is the time for the floor to speak freely, without interjections from the chair or interruptions from Bob Palmer. I have a few points of query tonight that I do expect the chair to do her job and assign follow-up. Firstly, I want to address the executive session of the Council's Rules Committee that will be held this Wednesday, September 11th, concerning the complaint filed against Councilman Kenneth Lee regarding his conflict of interest involving Goodwill, GVI, and the funding from the city towards those programs. It's crucial that I document the taxpayers' concerns about Ophelia Gooden Rogers potentially participating in that session, given that she is related to Kenneth Lee through marriage, which presents a clear conflict of interest for Rogers and Lee. Additionally, Vice President Nisgadsky must recuse herself from the investigation into Kenneth Lee, as she is under scrutiny for the same statute and also an active complaint regarding her cell phone usage during council meetings. It is evident that Nisgadsky nor Rogers can vote impartially on this matter. No matter the decision made, their involvement in the executive session would inherently suggest an impropriety. To Bob Palmer, the public expects you to release an email similar to the one you issued during the previous executive session, Your prior communication provided transparency on who was in attendance and how each council member voted. Should you deviate from this approach with Kenneth Lee's complaint, it would indicate bias and the public demands consistency from our purported parliamentarian. Next, I am compelled to ask why Sheila Nagatsky has neither resigned, faced reprimand, nor stepped down from her committees for her assault of a disabled resident and member of the media on May 13th.
Sir, you know that that's confidential as it went through the Rules Committee. You know that that information by city code is confidential.
So can I please reclaim my time? So can my time be reclaimed? And without using my time, I will address that because he interrupted me. And it's not confidential. The only thing that's confidential, if you read the municipal code, is the preliminary investigation. So can we check the time and can I please reclaim my time?
You have about 30 seconds left.
So,
So add it to that, yes.
well, I'm not trying to add to that. I was,
No, I'm saying, no,
okay,
I'm correcting it,
okay.
if you will.
So I appreciate Dr. Oliver Davis's publicly released statement today condemning Nagatsky's assault on May 13th. To the other 7 members of this council, your silence on this matter has been deafening. Martin Luther King famously stated, "There comes a time when silence is betrayal." To my personal representatives on this council who have failed to uphold their responsibility to me and the taxpayers of South Bend on May 13th, after 4 months of silence, you have betrayed those you vowed to represent by refusing to address Sheila Nagatsky's assault on a member of the public in this very room. I expect action, and I also expect you to address the interruption from the parliamentarian because
Time, sir.
I expect, and I'll stay here for a
Time,
second.
sir.
Excuse me, I'll stay here for a second.
Time,
You guys
sir.
need to deal with
Thank you.
that.
Thank you. Is there anyone else wishing to speak?
I do not see anyone else from the public or online wishing to speak.
Thank you. With that being said, this meeting stands adjourned. Good night.